It would take those who know, or for one to actually sit in jail for a month or so to really understand the disturbing and shocking ways that men act when incarcerated. It's an age-old question people ask about why do men love going back and forth to jail so much. And oftentimes it was a curious yet obnoxious opinion that men go back to jail so much because of homosexual tendencies, and that is so far from the reasoning. Several reasons make up the list, and if you ever misunderstood a certain man's motive for staying in and out, you can refer to this list and see what it is when you assess his conduct when he is free. Anyone can go to jail at any time, but it is a big difference when one person is constantly taking trips to jail and never seem to be disturbed by it. If only their girlfriends, mothers, friends, and co-workers could have a hidden cam to see how immature, disrespectful, playful, disgusting, and yet very comfortable he is in this dirty place, would they get an idea of why he doesn't feel any pain there. He'll whine and cry, talk with sense like a man, and fake like he loves his freedom on the phone or at visits, but he'll also hang up that phone and go right back to partying with his friends, enjoying not having a care in the world besides expecting how much time a judge will end up sentencing him or making the best of a sentence he is serving. One, on the outside looking in, will rightfully want to believe that everyone trapped in these jails are miserable and anxiously awaiting their freedom, but by the lenses of those that know how it looks on the inside, it is sad to report the shocking news that there are very many men who love jail. Men love to go to jail and pump up their lifestyle in the outside world and put extra gas on their stories like they are larger than who they actually are. They know they're talking to complete strangers who will just about believe anything they tell them as long as they can make it sound convincing enough, with hopes they'll be treated accordingly to who they portray themselves to be. Usually it's to cover up the fact that now they're broke or not as tough as it seems, so they mislead people into thinking they're the best at what they wish they were, and how this case or the jail time is the only thing holding them back. Overall, it's just a defense mechanism and strategies to possibly deter enemies and falsified status to seem bigger. Jail is filled to capacity with substance abusers who would still be zombies if it weren't for jail, not behaving properly or thinking straight. Their choices are poor all of the time, and jail gives them soberness that gives them hope they couldn't possibly have if they were free. When they have freedom, drugs control every aspect of their lives, and jail is the only place that makes them feel cleaned up. They become optimistic about their future, mend broken relationships, finally can eat, make plans and goals, and even realize their addictions are destroying them constantly and consistently. He gets his weight back and feels good finally. Jail is the only way he could do that. It is unbelievable how many men who are failing at manhood go to jail and have the time of their lives. They get to be loud, aggressive, overly social, laughing, joking, and immature as they want to be. In jail, they can look as dumb as they want, horseplaying and being annoying, and everyone else just has to deal with it. Without society being able to see him and judge him, he can be the little boy he only wants and knows how to be instead of the man he should be. Being in jail is where he finds that comfort he enjoys without a real care in the world that he has or is able to deal with. He loves coming to jail for this reason and is never worried about coming back repeatedly because jail is fun to him. Jail is his playground. Jail has stripped him of every responsibility he had, and he loves that. He doesn't have to pay bills, take care of his kids, maintain a household, doesn't have to work, he doesn't have to do anything at all. Jail is his perfect excuse to escape responsibility and avoid being a man. When he had freedom, he barely even ate, and rarely ate properly. In jail, he is fed 3 times a day, plus being fed from roamers of the land. He gets his weight back and feels better and stronger, while also being able to maintain it because he is fed and not responsible for feeding himself. He especially loves jail if the food they serve is good, but even if it's bad, it's at least better and more than what he was able to do while he was free. Men that normally wouldn't practice good hygiene or exercise regularly now brushes his teeth every day, showers regularly, freshens up, and even works on building their bodies now. When there is not much else to do, he might as well take care of his body for a change. Without the drugs and alcohol controlling them, they now take care of their health, which they rarely ever cared about in the free world. Strangely, he'll get cleaned up, freshened up, and physically fit to be in the presence of a bunch of strangers, but will let himself go and appear dirty and weakened in the society or in the presence of those who love him. He feels good in jail, so he takes better care of himself there too. In jail, you either have money or you don't. It really doesn't matter because you'll have shelter, food, and clothing either way. But someone on the outside has to coordinate the funding, which makes him free from the hustle and bustle it takes to have funding. Other people have to scrape up money and work to feed him and provide for him. He also gets to whine and complain about what he can't do, doesn't have, needs, and who isn't there supporting him. He gets to guilt trip his way into money that he'll blow on gas station type food and gambling debts from people he makes feel bad when he's the reason he's in the situation he's into to begin with. A man who's been free to chase highs and do very little else with his time goes to jail and absolutely loves to catch up on some much needed rest. Being awake for days and weeks at a time has made him delusional, and his favorite place to sleep will allow him to at least do that with no limits. All he has to do is wake up to eat, and he can sleep the rest of his time away as he chooses. Not to mention, he doesn't even have to wake up to work. When he doesn't take advantage of his skills anyway, being in jail is a good deal for him. No one is able to pressure him to work, he has nothing to maintain, and he can enjoy being as lazy as he always wanted to be anyway. Nothing in him wants to work anyway. He can talk ears off all day about his daydreams, but he retains the excuse of jail being the reason he can't do anything with the dreams. So he sleeps. The majority of men play it off like they're big men who are tough and completely put together, but it's extremely difficult to be a man, and a great deal of them struggle to be as large as their egos. Most find a way to make it through, then some can't handle it and they internally give up and lose themselves. Some lose themselves so deeply that they lose complete control and abuse substances and turn to a life of crime to at least try and keep up a pace and get ahead. It lands them in jail over and over, and at that point a lot of them do experience some sort of peace with this escape from reality. When they would abuse substances with their freedom to escape the pains of life, the jail takes their freedom and that becomes the escape. He loves it because he'll love anything that can alleviate the pain he feels trying to live. No freedom means no control, no responsibilities, which equals no depression and no stress. Once he gets to jail, he can't wait to get to a cell block and see his associates for a meet and greet, and also see who else is on the cell block and hear about who's in the entire jail. He is finally amongst his crowd of like-minded individuals that are in similar or worse positions as him. He can talk like a criminal, listen to other criminals, learn from other criminals, and befriend new criminals. He can make plans with criminals and influence criminals. It's far better to him than trying to live amongst and associate with the outside world of people who are afraid of jail and crime. In the free world, his life is threatened daily. He abuses his body. He has enemies that want to harm him. He takes deadly risks. Life makes him feel suicidal at times. He gives up all of the time. He's controlled by substances and addicted to doing absolutely nothing. Jail stays preserve him by cleaning up his mind, removing toxins and substances, and gives him some hope possibly to want to do better and live finally. He starts to think about how he's affecting those he loves and starts to want to love himself to be better for them as well. If he does change his mindset and does better when he leaves, he can thank jail for that. In jail, you'll find men who are comfortable and content being there and even being sentenced to prison time rather than probation or transitional alternative sentencing because deep down they're afraid of failure. He already knows he'll be unsuccessful and return to his safe place, so why even leave? Also, he can be scared to death of returning back to the reality he just left to come to jail. When nothing changes, and the next episode that lands him in jail is a scary thought. What size felony and amount of time will he face next? Who will he affect or hurt in order to get back to jail? What will he gain just to lose again? It's better in his mind to just remain incarcerated. Some will only be released back to homelessness, starvation, temptation, and poverty. Freedom doesn't sound or look good to him at all. Responsibility sounds stressful, and getting a job and quitting drugs or alcohol is out of the question. The only freedom is what is allowing him to avoid it at all, and that is incarceration.